Hello and welcome to Coffee with Jenny B. It's conversations over coffee. It's about community, connections, what brings me joy, and everything in between. I'm your host, Jenny Sakovac. When I was growing up, I was the only one in school that had red hair and freckles. And I was so self-conscious about my freckles because I was different. And I was teased and bullied about the fact that I was different, never mind the red hair. And I always wished that my freckles would blend into a nice tan and that I could look normal like everyone else. And as I got older, it's part of who I am, and I learned to accept it. And then as I got older as well, I realized that it was a part of who I am. And I came to accept it and actually not enjoy it so much, but appreciate that I was a little different than anyone else. But when it comes to looking different, when it comes to having spots or markings, whatever it is, it can make you feel self-conscious, and it can cause a little bit of perhaps some trauma, a little bit of insecurity. My guest today is someone who is living with a condition called vitiligo. And she has a powerful story to share about her experience with that and what she's doing to help others who are living with the same condition. Her name is Poonam Chopra. She has experience in marketing and communications, and she was one of my students, actually the very first class that I taught at the University of Winnipeg PACE. Please help me welcome Poonam.
Hi.
Hi, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Really excited to talk to you about your experience with vitiligo, but also your experience in the years that you've had in terms of marketing and communications.
Yeah.
So first of all, let's just get right into it.
Sure.
What exactly is vitiligo?
So vitiligo is a chronic autoimmune condition that basically affects your skin via the pigments. What it does kind of affect 1% of the population overall, but I would say in recent times I've seen so many more people with it that I would say maybe that percentage is tweaking upwards now. But what happens technically is when your body cells, they stop working the way they should in terms of protecting your body and actually start attacking your body. And what the cells do is that they attack your pigments, hence the loss of color, which then gives you the white patches, and you kind of see those dual shades of skin like I have. And it's not contagious, it's not hurtful. There's a lot of precaution as a person with vitiligo has to take for themselves, more like skincare. You can't hurt me by touching it. I do not pass it by touching anybody. And there's no cure for it. There are a lot of treatments out there. There's a lot of research and studies going on in the positive direction, but overall there's no cure for vitiligo as of now. So you can actually go to a dermatologist and get support as you wish. Like, I don't take any treatment for it because I'm on my path of embracing it and living with it the way I want to. And I'm not letting it run my life. Rather, I'm using it to run my own life now.
I love that. I love that positive energy that you're bringing into it. Now, how old were you when you first started noticing that you were getting these patches?
I think I was about 24 years old. So I was like in my prime 20s.
Okay.
Had just started my career in marketing and communications. And in that time, I was working with the hotel. So hotels are all about appearances as well in India as well. And I was in a front-facing role. So it was a sales role. So I was always meeting people and interacting with them. And thankfully, my first spot back then was on my ankle. So it was basically this ankle right there, and I had one small dot. And I told my mom, I think that's it. And she's like, no, it might just be a calcium deficiency, because that's the first thing you would think.
Right.
It's not vitiligo.
You're right.
So I was like, no, it's very different from the calcium spots that I used to get. So we went to see a doctor and he said, I don't think so there's any concern. It's just a small dot. Just watch it. And the one dot, I think within 1 week turned into 3 spots.
Oh boy.
Same around. And it was like a triangle. And I was like, yeah, mom, no, this is it. Well, the reason why I was sure about it, and the reason why me and my mother kind of took it seriously, was because we already have somebody in the family with it.
Okay.
My father's younger brother has this condition, so we've been aware of it. It's not a new condition for us to come across, but as a kid, I was not like, it was a scary thing. I don't want that on me. I don't want it. But I was also the kid in the family that if anybody had any condition in the family, I was sure to get it, kind of a thing. So I was like, I would probably be a good candidate for that kind. It literally happened.
Oh my goodness. Now, when you talk about your dad's younger brother having it, now is he the only one in the family that had vitiligo?
Yes.
Okay.
He had it when he was a kid. I think he was 12 or 13 when he started developing it. And they tried all treatments they could, homeopathy, allopathy, and everything. But then I forget which treatment he took, but one of the treatments he took kind of spread it all over his body.
Oh my gosh.
So one of the reasons my parents were or rather my father was very skeptical with me getting treatment was because he was like, she's in her prime 20s, she has to get married,
right,
like, you know,
have kids and all the rest
appearances,
of it. Yeah.
everything in India mostly. So
right.
he's like, we don't want to spread it. So we tried, I think it was like first 4 years when I had this, like when my hands started developing spots and my face started getting my first spot on the face was the eye right here.
Oh my gosh.
And that was 2015, I think, because I was with one of my companies was into, like, it was a restaurant, lounge, and a live music space. So again, I was in marketing, so PR and everything. So I was always in connection with people, selling space, or, you know, spelling event space, or just in general talking to people about events. And every single time somebody would look at me, the first thing they would do is point, did you get burnt? So any conversation I'm having at that point would suddenly just send me into a freeze. Like, I would be like, so they're not listening to me, they're just staring at my spot. And that takes over.
Yes.
As a, you know, somebody who's young, 20-year-old. And 100% at this point, I would be like, yeah, the 20-year-old me was more like a 15-year-old me, because I feel like my brain is like younger than my actual age. So I was like, I would actually be like more active and more perky in terms of my energy levels. And suddenly somebody would point at my spot and I was like, where do I hide? So then they start my then team. I still love them. Like, I'm still in touch with all of them. I love them to bits, because the moment somebody would interact with me and talk about my spots, like what happened, did you burn yourself, or did you eat, like the basic, like the most popular myth is, did you eat fish and milk together? And you know, that would just kind of throw me off my game.
That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, that's a myth. In India, it's kind of thought that if you get these patches, it's because you had fish and milk together. And I was like, I don't eat fish at all. So here's your myth. It doesn't happen. But that team members of mine, they were like godsend, because they would just immediately cover me, send me back to the office, and they would take over my role at that point to help me kind of get over it, because they saw how damaging on my my confidence just a little point was. And that's when I was like, I need to get treatment. I really need. So we started looking at a lot of things. One of the treatments that was really spoken about, and I had to really travel across the city. And Delhi is very small, but it's huge to travel because of the traffic and everything. And we used to travel across town to go to that treatment center for an hour, wherein I would take a tablet. It was a steroid tablet. And then I would literally get all my clothes off and stand in a cylinder for UV rays to affect every part of my skin. And I wasn't allowed to move from it for like 20-25 minutes, just in one position, because UV rays are touching me. And I did that for a month, and the first spot to disappear or repigment was the one in the eye. So I was happy, like, that one spot that everybody talked about is gone.
It's gone.
But then my dad made me stop it, because he's like, I've been researching, and UV rays are not very good for you, because they may help pigments, but then there's a huge high chance of you getting skin cancer.
Oh, right.
So I was
Yes.
like, oh, and I was like, okay, my dad's done the research. I'm okay. So I stopped UV rays like right away. And I was like, that was the one treatment that was actually affecting in a positive way for me. So I was like, okay, I don't want to leave one thing and get into another worse kind of a situation.
No, exactly, yeah.
So I was like, okay, let's not. And after that, a lot happened with my situation, kind of like the spots were increasing, and I was now in like my mid 20s, and my dad was actively looking for me to get married because my elder sister did get married,
Right.
just like when I was like around 24, 25. So now he was like actively looking for some matches for me, and I told him my only my criteria he already knew, and I had a very small criteria: has to be presentable, stable, and an army or a defense person.
Okay.
Because my dad's a defense person, so I'm like, has to be one of those. But anybody that I met, the moment they saw the spots, they
was it.
rejected.
Oh.
So they never rejected me for the person I am, but they rejected me for the spots. So I told my dad, like, okay, going further, anybody you like or anybody who likes my profile, the first thing they need to know is I have this condition. Let them reject me before meeting me, because meeting them and then getting rejected hurts further. Like,
Oh
it
my
hurts
God.
harder.
Yes.
So that happened, and I think I was in my early 30s when I decided to come to Canada, and I was like, screw it. Like, I will start my career from scratch again, because I just need to get to a place where there's less stress. And because stress is another active feeder for this.
Oh
The
my
more you
gosh.
stress, the more your spots will start spreading.
Yes.
So I have noticed it every time, like, I'm in stress, I get more spots visible, and the moment I'm in like comfortable, I'm not stressing over like excessively, I don't see any spots. I don't see any increase in the already developed spots.
Do they disappear? Have you had any spots disappear on you?
Yeah.
Or yeah? Okay.
Yeah, they've disappeared, or as we call it, they've repigmented.
Okay.
But then I seriously don't know what I did for them to repigment, or it was just a natural phenomena. But the spread is faster than the repigmentation.
Okay.
I also know a friend in India who actually had vitiligo, and they're senior to me, so I spoke to them, and they actually repigmented themselves, and their belief is that they're pure vegan, like they're hardcore vegan to the core, and they said that it's the vegan lifestyle that actually helped them repigment. So I was like, I'm not sure, because you've been vegan before you've had the condition when you were vegan.
Right.
So if for the repigmentation, did you change something in the vegan diet that kind of changed? Like, did you introduce something? So maybe yes, there's a part of it that plays with the diet, but I think it's more of your internal systems that have to work for you. So eating clean is one of the things I definitely do. Hydration, skincare, and the proper
Exercise.
balanced diet with exercise, as whatever your body allows you, but like more of just keeping your brain active and stress free. So if yoga meditation helps you more than strength exercise, that's your way to it.
Right. Okay. And you know, it's interesting because I worked at the Cancer Society and the Arthritis Society,
Yeah.
which are both autoimmune, well, arthritis for sure. Cancer, I guess, anything that is affecting your body can be considered as autoimmune. And I know for a fact that diet does play a big role in helping you manage. It doesn't make it go away, unfortunately. I mean, really, there's no cure for arthritis or cancer.
Just maintenance.
Just maintenance, you know,
Yeah.
maintenance, but it's understanding, first of all, you talked about stress, right? So what are some of the triggers that are affecting, you know, your condition? Diet especially, vegan or otherwise, it's the clean eating, it's making sure that you're nourishing your body.
Yeah.
And you were talking about yoga and meditation, absolutely. Whatever, going for a walk, swimming,
Just go for a bike ride.
whatever.
It's
you know,
meditation. It's exercise.
whatever it is that you need to find that peace inside of
Yes.
yourself that reduces the stress, you know, is very important.
Yeah. And I honestly, like, this interview literally is coming on a very timely, like I mentioned, June is Vitiligo Awareness Month. So our entire month this time is focused completely on building more awareness. And I have joined. So Vitiligo Community Winnipeg is what I founded, because I saw that Winnipeg actually has no place to go for somebody with vitiligo skin condition. But I've had so many experiences where I've come face to face with people and suddenly they're like, we're hand twins. I've had somebody just pat me. The first year when I was in university, somebody patted me on my back in the bus and they said, we're hand twins, and we kind of fist pumping each other there. And
how did that feel?
Initially it felt awkward because I just come to Canada,
okay.
So I was still kind of like hiding stuff. But then in the bus I had to hold the handle so I don't fall, and somebody tapped. And then the moment he said hand twins and I saw their hand, and just the fact that they were able to scream through the bus about it. I think that positive energy, I suddenly felt like a little stress that just let go.
And that you were seen, perhaps?
Yeah, and I was like, okay, people who have the condition see me, but others are not. Like they see it, but it's not the same feeling as you get in India. Because in India, you kind of get stared at. You get unsolicited advice. I still get it here. I mean, if I see somebody from the Indian community, 100% I get unsolicited advice of what to try and like cover it with, or have I tried this? Have you tried that? Go see this doctor, go see. Like, I don't even know the person. They'll just walk up to me and give me the advice. So it's still here. But what I really like is I've had people come up to me and they're like, oh, yours is more prominent. And I was actually at Stella's right under the university, grabbing coffee before our class. And this lady behind me said, oh, you have this condition. It's so prominent. And I looked at her because I was like, okay, I didn't expect someone to come and suddenly say that to me. And she's like, no, sorry, I have it too. And then she showed me, she's like, it's just that I am so white, so pale that you can't see mine, but I can kind of see yours because of the difference in your skin tone. And then I was like, okay. And I realized that if somebody with the condition talks to me in any way, I am more receptive because I'm like, she understands, she knows what I'm going through. And sometimes people just don't know how. And that's when I kind of started realizing that it's not just me. There are people with this condition and they don't know where to go, what to do. Yeah. So I lost my job. I've been working literally since I finished university. I've been working like constantly with any company I've worked with. So when I was let go from my company, my last company in January, I was obviously initially took some time to just kind of gather that thought, like, okay, I've been let go, figure out what next. But then I started focusing on the Vitiligo Winnipeg community, and I started focusing more on that work. And I was like, okay, we need to make this more prominent because I really need to develop this community, because I have now started getting people who are somehow related to vitiligo. Either somebody in their family has it or they have it. And there are people asking questions, and I would like to grow this. I would like them to have a place where they can come and talk, or a place where they can come and feel like themselves. If they are in that mind whether I want to hide it, I want to flaunt it, I want to cover it with makeup, or I want it to be a part of my being, they should be able to come and talk the way they want, and nobody should be there to give them unsolicited advice. It should be a judgment-free zone, because that's what everybody wants in the end. Yeah. And I was like, okay, this is something we do. And when I started focusing on that, Vitiligo Voices Canada, which is basically the national level group, on its way to becoming a not-for-profit and an association, actually asked me to join forces with them, because they absolutely loved what I was doing for Winnipeg. And they said, as it is growing and we want a Winnipeg chapter or a Prairies chapter, since you already are doing the groundwork there, let's join forces. So now I have joined forces with them to be on a national level. June 25th is the World Vitiligo Day. And I reached out to the city. So today morning itself, I'm like, okay, very timely again. I got the confirmation mail from the city that the Winnipeg sign and the Rial Bridge next to the Museum for Human Rights, both would be lit up in purple for World Vitiligo Day.
Oh, that's wonderful.
So that's part of the movement called Lit for Wit.
Lit for Wit.
So it happens all across. So we now have, last year we had 22, I believe, locations or viewpoints that were lit up. Manitoba wasn't it, but this year Manitoba is part of it, along with many others. So we've kind of now gone to about maybe 30 sites that would be lit for WIT in purple. And lit for WIT because June 25th is associated with Michael Jackson, who's the first person of vitiligo that everybody in the world knows about.
Well, it's interesting. Well, first of all, congratulations on getting the city and the province to do this, because that's exciting, and it's really raising more awareness, because people, first of all, aren't aware that it is such a condition, or they see someone with it but they don't know what it is.
Exactly.
And then also too, in terms of understanding just the fact that there is no cure, and it does affect. I don't know what the percentage of people that it affects in Canada or even in Winnipeg, but regarding Michael Jackson, I think most people remember him with his white face and perhaps not understanding. And I know there's a rumor going around, or was, that he bleached his face, which it sounds kind of bizarre, but it's interesting to know that he actually had that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think did also partly because where he was as a star, but it was also back then it was, I would say, was way worse than what it is now. Like right now, social media and everything helps us spread awareness, talk about it. There's less aggression or negative reaction to somebody with a condition, and more like there's still subtle side looks and stares and everything, which will never finish because it's curiosity, honestly.
Absolutely.
The stares is nothing else. It's not rude. Sometimes people are just staring because they've never seen it. I remember the first time I saw an albino person. They were in my school, and I couldn't stop staring because I had never seen somebody with a full albino look. Their hair was white and everything, and every time I would come to school, I would just stare. And he probably was used to the stares because he had a group of friends and he couldn't bother. And now when I go back to it, and I'm like, that's the energy I want, where stares should not bother me. Like if somebody's staring, I don't want to feel offended. I rather want to see, like, do you have questions? I'm willing to answer. Like, I don't mind questions. It's the way people ask questions. It's like assuming. So questions like, did you get burned? Is offensive because you're assuming that I got burned and that's why I have a condition. Whereas asking something on the lines like, I have never seen this condition before. What is it called? Like, I remember a kid, I was at the dog park with one of my dogs, and this kid pointed and said, what's with her skin? I am not offended because it's a kid. I can, like, literally maybe a 4 or 5 year old kid. The dad immediately, hush, 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 don't point, don't ask. So I literally looked at the dad and I said, I'm okay with the kid's question. If you want to take time and answer his questions, yes. If you want me to tell you more about it, I am happy to do so. I don't get offended with kids' questions or their pointing and staring, because kids never have filter, so they ask things as it is.
Right.
And it is their curiosity. So teaching kids at that point what it is actually will help kids who have this condition and go through bullying in school. Because I remember a lot of my friends have this condition, and when I started talking about it on social media, just on my personal Facebook, I had a classmate reach out to me and be like, you also have it? I have it too. Like, she's like, oh my God, I kind of feel like I can finally talk to somebody. And she's also in the States. I was just like, when did you develop? Like, because now I'm curious, like you and I both did not have it in school. When did you develop? But then I came across other people who have it, and they're like, we've been called so many things. I have been called that in my 20s. Kids have been called that in school. Like, you look like a cow. I've been called a Dalmatian because of the spots.
That's terrible.
And that is, sometimes people will do that to either spite you, or sometimes they think it's fine. We're friends, so that's a joke that she can tolerate.
Funny. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm like, again, I think that you have to be in a very inner circle to make such personal jokes. Like, if my sisters or my best friend would make a joke like that, I would probably tolerate it because it's that inner circle for me.
Right.
But if you're just a circle, like if you're just in a common circle of acquaintance and friends, and you make that kind of a joke on my skin, I'm like, okay, you're not really being very, empathetic to the fact that I'm struggling with something. You don't know what my mental state is with this, where I am in this journey right now. I literally moved to Canada after being rejected for marriage proposals because I had the spots. So for somebody to call me Dalmatian, I'm like, okay, that's what people think of me now. So I look like a dog to them, or I look like an animal or some sort of an alien to them. And it only took me one abusive relationship, 4 months long, to actually put my foot down and be like, yeah, this thing is now going to ruin my life. For anything, this will not be a weakness anybody can actually take charge with and control me. I will be strong enough for this, with this condition, that if they think they're doing me a favor by being in my life and accepting me, I can be single all my life and be happy than to be in a relationship where somebody thinks I've done this out of pity, not out of love for you.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, good for you. You know what? It going through something that you've gone through, and I can't even imagine what that feels like, but to come to the place where you've not resolved it for yourself, but you're, as you say, you took control and you decided that you were going to accept it and make it be stronger because of it. And I'm really proud of you, the fact that you've come so far in terms of, you know, being proud of who you are, but accepting yourself and not worrying that, as you say, you know, not letting the comments bother you, or actually putting sort of I want to think sort of a, you know, like a protection shield around yourself, where it's deflecting any comments, any stares, anything that people are throwing at you. But I love the fact that you've also taken charge and you want to do something about it, and creating the Winnipeg chapter, because I'm sure, and you've had people reach out to you already, and you haven't even really done a lot with it yet. And so there's so much potential. And the fact that the Canada organization wants you to be a part of it. And so it's really taking that and making it more accessible information, education. People really need to know, because in addition to, you know, did you burn yourself? I'm sure people have asked you, well, does it hurt?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Does it hurt? Can you pass it to us? Like I've had situations where people, like my friends, families, have been like, keep the kid away from her, she might just pass it to them. And I have actually stopped my relation, like I stopped going to my friend's place, and this was again before coming to Canada, but like I stopped going to people's places because I was like, okay, it hurts me when people think like that about me, but it hurts me even more so that they're so much more educated to think like that.
Exactly.
Like, and the fact that I have to still somewhere put my foot down, even if it hurts, to keep my self-confidence and my self-respect at high. Because the one thing my father has taught me and my sisters is to never give up on self-respect, self-confidence, and to always do the right thing, even if it's the hardest thing in life to do. So never, like he's a defense person, so our upbringing has been very army upbringing focused. So it's like discipline has been the first thing about it, and so I follow those principles till date. I speak more truth than I can handle probably. And sometimes it gets me into trouble because I've had friends say, you don't have to be dishonest also. And I was like, well, I can either choose to be dishonest or be dishonest, and I'd rather choose this much honesty. And if you don't want to be friends with me because I'm honest, then that's on you, not on me. But I've had people who were friends with me because I had this condition, and they felt like nobody else is going to hang out with her. So I've kind of, the moment I realized that this friendship is not friendship and it's more pity, and like they don't really want to be around me because of this condition, I've literally let go of all of that. The day I did that, my stress and like just the whole pressure of, you know, fitting in just left me. So now I'm like, I feel free. So now I feel like I can actually be myself, and I don't need anybody to tell me how much they approve of my behavior or not, because I am myself. As long as I'm not purposely hurting somebody, as long as I'm not doing something which is illegal or wrong, I don't think so I'm wrong as it is. Like, so if you have an issue with what I do, come and tell me, but don't come and tell me that what I'm doing is wrong, because it's not wrong. It just may not be the way you would want to do things. And for me, Vitiligo community is that place where I can actually be myself and talk to these people. So we meet every month. We are the same set of members. Others join in as again, everybody joins in as their availability. We try and make it to every one of them because every month we have a new topic we talk about. So past months we've had makeup and skincare. We've talked about vitiligo and media, how much media appearances can we do versus people with skin conditions, not just vitiligo, but skin conditions actually being in advertisements, models and everything. Winnie Harlow is one of the biggest examples of a really popular vitiligo model who's doing amazing. But apart from her, because she's got an aura around her, apart from her, I don't know if I've seen many more, people. Like, she is a high-end model now, but like in general, like advertisements,
No representation.
No representations. You don't like. It's still like if you see a family, you still have like perfect looking people as a family. And I'm like, but families are not perfect.
No.
You don't have perfect looking families. Why can't you just have a person with vitiligo as a father or a mother in there? Like, why can't you? Like, why is the way we kind of stress over obesity and all those other situations and we give the representation, this is where we are. We want vitiligo. We want skin conditions to also get highlighted, especially conditions like ours, which does not hurt at all. Like, it is just a part. Like, there's so many more people who'll feel more included, and that would probably also lessen the stress that we feel when we have, because the first thing we want to feel is we want to hide. So like literally I would sit like this hiding my hands, or I would sit like this hiding my hands.
Oh, wow.
Or if I'm talking to somebody, I would close my hands behind so that they don't see it. Or it would go in front of me closed. So I would do the negative body languages, which said I'm not approachable. But I'm not. It's not that I'm unapproachable.
I'm just
hiding. So I'm a person who talks with my hands. So my hands became the first ones that really had the vitiligo. I was like, okay, I can't hide my hands because I don't know how to talk without it. I'm a hand talker.
Person, yeah.
So I was like, okay, it's either that or I hide. So what do? Can I wear gloves? And there are foundations. Like, I just have to find the right full coverage foundation and I can cover. But I was like, I'm not wasting that much time and energy on it.
Well, not only time and energy, but money, right?
Oh, money never even came. I was like, I'm not even spending that much time. I can walk a dog like in that much time just while I'm wearing a foundation and stuff.
Well, and then you have to wash it off and then reapply it, and
exactly. And then too much makeup again is not good for the skin either. So that was just my personal thing. Like, I was like, screw it. I am just gonna embrace it and be on this journey where, like, I used to still, like, up until 2 years back, while we still had COVID and lockdowns happening, my mother would call me and she's like, I've taken this prayer for you, and like, you just need to do this. I want your healing. I've asked for healing for you. And I was like, stop. I do not want healing anymore. If you want to get healing for me, ask for my migraine healings, ask for this heal. Vitiligo is no longer on the plate. It's done. I've consumed it. It's done. I don't want any more healing for it, because I was like, unless my parents and I don't stop with this feeling of it being a problem,
yes,
I would never get 100% embracing. So once that stopped with my parents, I think that's when my 100% embracement came in, and I was like, okay, I can now not be affected. I still have bad days. I won't say I don't. I still have the good days. I still have bad days. Similarly with everybody else. I still like, I will be sitting and I will just be kind of washing my face and I'll be like, wait, those are new spots. Like, when did that come? I didn't see them yesterday. Did they happen overnight? And then you kind of go into that dense, like, I'm literally recapturing my day. Like, what happened? What did I do? Did I eat something new? What happened yesterday? What was like out of the norm? And then, trying to figure out, did that cause? Like, for example, this spot is actually a burn spot.
Oh, it is.
I was working with Cirque du Soleil and I was in charge of the popcorn machine, and I accidentally stuck my hand and this part got stuck. So I had a 2nd-degree burn here.
Oh my gosh.
I did not, like, the skin did not peel off. It was just burnt. So it was just like loose paper kind of a feel. So they just told me to cover it and keep it so that it doesn't get infected and it'll heal. It's not that bad. So, okay. Looked pink when I saw the burn. And I remember a week later, the pink just turned white. And I was like, I guess now it's a vitiligo spot, because I already had vitiligo, so because I burnt that space, the pigments in there died. So
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
But like I have other spots that are coming up. These are new spots right here.
Oh, right there.
That are
yeah.
coming. And when I came to Canada, this hand had about 6 spots. This one had 3. And then I was working with Pizza Hut, and by the end of that year, my hand was almost white.
Oh my gosh.
So I was like, okay. And like my palms, they've lost their color. My lips have lost color. I have spots around my upper lip, around my eyes. And then the other thing that vitiligo also does is it does give you premature graying of hair. It's not necessarily the same as vitiligo when you get premature hair, graying hair, but it does somewhere fasten the track for it.
Okay, that's interesting because I would have thought definitely skin, but you know, the fact that it affects the hair is something else that you now have to deal with. It's like, do I dye my hair or embrace the gray?
Yeah.
You know, and would dyeing the hair make any difference? Does it affect your skin, like your scalp in any way?
Not really, because I did get my scalp checked by a doctor. I don't have white spots on my scalp, which definitely say I have the premature graying, maybe accelerated due to the condition of autoimmune in my body, but it's not directly connected with vitiligo. So unless and until I have a white spot on my scalp, then I have to figure out if I have anything. But when I dye my hair, I usually make sure to keep a active like concentration on my scalp, whether I'm getting any burning sensation, irritation, because that is the only thing I've never had with dye. So if it's happening, I tell them to immediately remove it, because there's definitely something in that particular dye that's not going.
Exactly.
So then I take a break and come back maybe a week later and get it again. So sometimes to see. So it doesn't, and I go to this one person only, so because it's just that they already know the condition.
They know, yeah.
Yeah, so it's easier. And I'm like, please never move. I don't want to look for another person.
So that's amazing. I'm just hearing your story and what you've gone through, and the fact that you're in a position now that you are accepting yourself. And I mean, that took a lot of courage.
Yes.
To finally, and the fact that you were very strong in putting up barriers in terms of, you know, you're accepting me for who I am. You're not pitying me. You're not, you know, you're being a true friend.
Yes.
And that's what you need, is you need people in your life that are supporting you, that can help you, not just help you with any, like you were talking about, you know, hey, some days are really bad. So who can you talk to that you can trust, that you can share, you know, maybe even like, why is this happening to me, right?
Yeah.
Those kind of questions I'm sure you've had. But, you know, what is a lesson that I'm learning here? I don't know if there is a lesson, but, you know, being able to talk to someone about it,
Yes.
you know, really, really does help.
I would say for me, the lesson is just about, with me at least, the aim is to make sure that people know that there is a community. It's not in person, so you don't have to worry where you are. Even if you're anywhere in Canada for that matter, and you are looking for a community, Vitiligo Voices Canada is there. We meet online every month, the first Monday of every month. Tickets are available on Eventbrite, so they can go look for it, sign up. It's free to join. Every month there's a new topic we discuss, but we also welcome new members. We share stories, we share our own anecdotes about stuff. I am the most talkative in that group as well. I've always
No surprise.
I'm always been the most talkative one. But it's the fact that I keep talking about stuff, and I am never shy about any of my experiences, that helps others kind of also feel comfortable about opening up and talking about things. And we are as connected, not just in Canada. We have members from the society, Vitiligo Society, that's in UK.
Okay.
Also. So I think when I started with vitiligo and the journey of embracement, I started connecting with more and more people. And some of the people, most of them are actually in the UK that I first connected with. It's the vitiligo guy, and he's actually got a vitiligo doll now. He's written a story, like a kid's story book as well.
Really? Oh.
Yeah, so it's not just the Barbie. He also has like a stuffy kind of a little doll.
And that's the one in the UK?
He's in the UK, yeah.
Okay.
And then there are so many others that I've connected with. All of them actually are, like one of the other guys is actually also in the UK, and he also models. He's actually done a little intro thing just before the movie in the UK for, I forget which company it was for though, because I saw it in those on their social, and it was amazing. And then they did a little meetup. We had like a little meetup in Vancouver, because that's where the Vitiligo Voices Canada founder is, co-founder is. So there's one co-founder in Vancouver, there's one in Toronto, and then there's one in Newfoundland. Yeah, Newfoundland. I was like, yes. But like them came together. So the one in Toronto is actually studying dermatology and wants to be a dermatologist to actually help support treatment and research for vitiligo, because they also have it.
Oh, that's
the one in
wonderful.
Vancouver is an active model actor, and he's always in media. If you see a vitiligo poster, probably you'll see Omar there, because that's him. And then the third one, Parsa, is again a medical student. They're in Newfoundland, and they're associated because their sister has it.
Oh,
So
okay.
again, they're an ally to vitiligo, but
Yes.
a huge voice, because they've seen it since they were a kid, just like I had seen it. But now I went from being an ally to actually being a person with it. So I kind of lived both those lives. And the only thing common about all of us is that we all feel that vitiligo does not get its just acceptance in the society still. Like people would not point and talk about you, but at the same time, would you get sidelined because you have a skin condition? Or if somebody went, like if I went and said, I want to be an actor, and I pass all the checklists except the look test because I have vitiligo patches, I'll be asked to cover them up.
Oh, yeah.
And we remember we were talking about acting and vitiligo, and I was talking to them that there are some Indian medias, they've made they're like very low grade, low budget movies that are made with this condition, like people with this condition, or actually a whole movie about a girl with this condition and how her life is, and in a small village, which is even more backward
Yes.
than an actual high end, like an active society like ours. And that's when we talked about Hollywood, and I forget the movie name now, but one of the actors was actually painted to have vitiligo patches, because that's the thing, like, oh, this guy has white patches, he's evil. And I was like, get us away from that.
Oh my
we
gosh.
should not be like, one, if you wanted a person with that kind of condition, hire somebody with that condition rather than painting a normal guy, because the paint, we all saw it and we were like, what are they trying to do? Those are not vitiligo patches. Like they don't, like, how can people even buy it? Like, and I like, that's why people give us such questions, because they see that on media. So if you give us true representation, hire us for the talent rather than the condition.
Exactly.
And you will see a much, much better representation.
And also get a little bit more education about it. You know, that's really interesting that they are doing that. So what would you say? So I know you're doing a lot in terms of representation and what you're doing with the vitiligo community. What would you say to someone who perhaps was just diagnosed or just found these spots? What could you say to that person?
I would say the journey to embracement is to each his own, because I have reached here after a journey of over a decade. Some people right away, because it doesn't bother them. So when you have it, honestly, just take the time to first digest the news, because it is a life-changing news. You are going to physically change. And then figure out where you feel you are. Are you feeling nervous, stressed, and you need to understand the situation, what to expect and everything? We are more than happy. You can join us on those monthly meetings. I am at Vitiligo Community Winnipeg. You can join us at Vitiligo Voices Canada as well, where we are more, and that is the active meeting group as well. And we'd be happy to talk to you about it. And like, you know, if hand holding is needed to, you know, help you get there, we're happy to do that. read up as much as you can. There's a lot of research coming up centered in Winnipeg that was doing vitiligo research, and they had some sort of a test medication as well. There are lots happening. You can 100% log in on June 25th. There's the first vitiligo meetup happening in Toronto, but it's going to be live streamed as well. So you can log in there, listen to what the dermatologists and doctors and people with vitiligo actually talk, because it's going to be a good talk there to learn more. And yeah, just reach out. The community is there. We're far and spread, but we're still very close connected. It's just a Zoom call away, honestly.
That's wonderful. Well, thank you so much for sharing your experience and your story about vitiligo. And I'm sure you've been able to provide a lot of information for someone that's dealing with this. So thank you so much again,
Thank you
Poonam.
so much. Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely, my pleasure. This is Coffee with Jenny B on the Multicultural channel. I'm your host, Jenny Sakovac.